It'll work.
Hello, good afternoon. Oh, I'm echoing now too. Okay. Joy, you might have to mute you while I'm talking back and forth. So, we had a little auditory problems this morning, but we are here and looking forward to having a conversation with you today. We will be talking about vision casting for the 2025 Women's Retreat. And so I always look forward to this conversation every year and hearing about what will be happening at this coming retreat. And I keep saying this retreat this year, but it's actually next year. So in the 2025, it'll be May 1st through 4th. We're back in Lake Junaluska again, and I love it because I love the Lake Junaluska campus. It's so beautiful. It creates such a wonderful community the way it's all laid out, and I just feel like it's been my favorite out of all of them that we hosted at. So Joy, why don't you tell briefly who you are and tell us what is the theme for the 2025 Women's Retreat?
I'm unmuting and you're muting, and that means I'm not echoing. I don't know why we're having these technical issues, but I'm so excited to be here to talk about it. I'm Joy Forrest, and I'm the founder and executive director of Call to Peace Ministries. And oh my goodness, what an amazing work God has done um, for those who have suffered oppression. And He manages to use us, as broken as we may be. And so we started these retreats back in 2019. And then I think we were going to have them every other year, but it was so powerful back in 2021. And we saw the connections that women were making. So we decided to do them yearly. And so this year, we are back at Lake Junaluska, and we were there last year. It's just, we think that the setting is just a natural worship call with all the nature and the lake. We did have some issues with getting around last year, so we have actually solved most of those problems, because we're just going to have all the events will be in one building mostly, or the one right across the street. So it's going to be a much simpler time. It's going to be a much simpler retreat, but the theme is Redeemer, and I think that I chose that because, well, first of all, to be redeemed implies that something went wrong, right, in the first place, and that there's brokenness. And so the good news is that we have a Redeemer, and that just means that He takes the ashes of our lives and turns them into beauty. He takes our broken stories, and not only does He heal and bring life back to us, but He redeems our story. And redemption means that He uses our story for good. And so that is really going to be the overall theme of this retreat, that we have a God who will not only use the horrible things that we've been through and the brokenness that we've experienced um, for our good, but He will use it for good in general. And so I know that when you're going through it, it's just so hard to believe that He could ever use this broken road that I've traveled. I know I felt at one point, I remember telling God, Lord, I have no hope. I have no future, and that very day I opened my Bible to Jeremiah 29:11 that says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to give you hope and a future. And that's who He is. So as we learn to know His good character, his redemptive ability, it is so healing, so freeing. And so that is kind of what we're going to be talking about. And I also love the fact that science is a little slow to catch up with God, because nowadays, we have post traumatic stress disorder that we've had diagnosed for decades now. But we also, now there's a new thing that the scientists are discovering called post traumatic growth. And so that's what we're going to be talking about as well. We're going to be talking about how do we come out as better individuals as after our trauma. It does take some effort on our part. We have to press into the healing that is available, but we can certainly heal. And so we're just really excited that everybody's going to come. We know there's a bunch of healing in community, and that's been one of the things that women who've come to these retreats have loved the most. And so it's a beautiful opportunity to come and to work, find His redemption and find community.
Yes, I'm excited for this year's theme and this year's retreat of theme of Redeemer, I think that's going to be really awesome. And as you were saying, so many women struggle, and just helping women be able to connect to, we'll have many experts there that are experts in this field of overcoming the impacts of domestic abuse, to be able to talk with you and to give sessions about how you can overcome these impacts and begin to live in post-traumatic growth. Yes, post-traumatic growth. I said it right. It's making sure, like, wait, is that really what it's called? And so I'm looking forward to that. And just for me, I love being at these retreats and seeing women come in. A lot of them come in alone. That's usually most of them do. They don't know anybody. And then just to see the unique connections that God gives for them, and they begin to make friends. And what I love the most is seeing their faces, like their whole countenance transforms. They come in, they're a little bit anxious, they're not sure if they fit in or who they're going to meet, and they've been rejected by their church community or friends and family, and they're just like, oh, I'm now making myself vulnerable, which is so hard to do. And they come in and they find, like, other people are like, me too, I connect, I understand what you've been through, I don't have to jump through mental hoops to explain it. And they have this community, and I see their faces begin to change as they listen to the speakers, and they begin to get encouragement and healing and hope, and they walk away and they're just glowing and they're excited. And so we were like, I met my best friend there, we live several states away, or maybe they live in the same city. They've had that happen, And so I'm really excited. I love that you mentioned that about community, because that's going to be our heart, is to continue to foster community during this retreat, and for people to be able to connect with other people. So if you're watching this for the first time and you're like, I don't know if I want to go there and go alone, please do. Please come. We'd love to have you. Believe me, there is so many other women that feel the same way as you, and you're going to show up there and maybe make the best friend of your life and somebody that you really connect with. And we will have shepherd groups again for you to be able to connect, which are intimate groups that we set apart for people. We're not having shepherd groups? Oh, well, everybody, I'm sorry. I just learned that.
We got a different idea this year, but so we will have a way for you to connect, but we're going to change it up a little bit this year. So be looking out for that, but it'll be a wonderful experience. And it too, like you were talking about, God, we have so many God stories. I remember this woman telling me that she was standing in line in the cafeteria, and she started talking to the woman in front of her. She had come alone, and she was like, "Oh Lord, I don't know why am I here by myself, or I don't know what to do." And she starts talking to the woman beside her, and it turns out, like, they were from us, 5 states away, and they live 15 minutes from each other. So God, He uses the connections that happen there. I call them divine connections, and we'll do some things to also help you with connections. So it'll be a little different. Altogether, the whole retreat is going to be different. It's going to be much more relaxed, a lot more downtime. We heard the feedback from the ladies. We have been really treating it more like a conference. So we have far fewer breakout sessions, a lot more downtime, some more workshops, and a lot more experiential things. So it's going to be awesome. Things for you to do, even a hike around the lake, that would be just a mindfulness kind of thing, or there are going to be different activities that you can do that also will help with the building of community if you find some folks that are doing the same thing you're doing. But I think it's going to be good, because the whole idea, like last year, our theme was He Restores My Soul. And I was just thinking about it yesterday, because the Lord was just talking to me about rest and restoration. Rest and restoration. You have to rest in order to be restored. You need to take that downtime. And women coming out of these kinds of situations need that rest. So we saw that need, and we're going to provide it for you. So.
Oh, I'm mute. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that we'll have more experiential time. That will be great for people to connect with. And I wanted to highlight what you said about it being more retreat-like. So we really want you to be able to come and take time to rest and be restored and connect with other people. And we will be having less speakers this year, but which is awesome, because it makes space for you to be able to go and see the ones that you want to see and be able to connect and it not feel like so many options. We got multiple feedback that it was just very overwhelming. So we want to be able to make it very easy for you to find the session that you want to go to, and then we'll still be doing recordings as well. So if you can't make it to every session, you can get the recordings of the ones that you missed. So Joy, do you mind telling us some of your speakers? And I will say, There is one person coming, but we is our main speaker, but we will not be announcing her until October. So why don't you tell us maybe some of the others you have coming and maybe some of the things they'll be speaking on?
Yeah. Well,
Well, we
I'm still.
still
Are you
are you
muted?
muted? Hold on, I had a little technical difficulty.
There we go. It makes all the difference. At least we figured that part out. We have a lot of some of the same speakers that we do have on a regular basis, just because they're just like a part of our DNA, I guess. We will, but we are inviting back Nagme Panahi, if you're familiar with her. She has an amazing new book called "I Didn't Survive." And she was the wife of Pastor Saeed, who was in an Iranian prison back in 2012, I believe, and then disclosed that it was an abusive situation. And she is just a treasure. And so we're really excited to have her. And then we're going to have Rebecca Davis coming back with us. She's going to actually help with our Q&A. So we're going to have a Q&A one. I can't remember. One of our main sessions will be a question and answer, and we're going to fill it with different people with different specialties, and you will be able to submit your questions, and then those experts will be answering those questions. We'll have our friend Tabitha Westbrook back. Georgia Schaefer is coming back. We have just an amazing host of people, and as you said, we haven't announced everyone yet, but we will. And so we're just really excited. But we do have people who I consider the best experts on finding healing and overcoming. I know that there are a lot of people out there that talk about abuse ministry, a lot of people who can tell you what abuse looks like, and that's very, very validating. But we really try to focus on bringing in people that are going to talk about healing. How do you heal after something like this? Because healing has to be intentional. As a survivor, we have to do our work to find that healing. And so, as every year, we're going to have a track for people helpers as well as survivors of domestic abuse. And we are going to continue our organized abuse track again this year. So that would be people who've been through severe organized abuse that would include trafficking, ritual abuse, and things like that. And so that was actually a pretty popular track last year. So basically, that's just what's coming to the top of my head, but we have so many more speakers coming. And so we know that you're going to love it, and just be on the lookout. We'll be adding more to our website in the months to come.
Yes, please follow along with our website because our webpage, and I just dropped a link for that in the comments below, so you can go ahead and register. Registration is open, everybody. We actually already have 30 people registered. Single rooms are gone, so we had a limited number of single rooms. They are not available in Terrace anymore. So if you would like to go ahead and register, I think maybe there's some in another location, so please go ahead and register, as we have a limited amount. If you are desiring a single room, they will not be available in the next probably month. They'll probably be gone. So if that's something you desire, you need to register very soon. And then also I was going to mention we have an early bird special, and that in September 30th. So go ahead and delay and take advantage of that. And then I've had a lot of questions on here, people reaching out to me asking about scholarships, if we're going to do that again. Yes, we will have scholarships available again. It will be the same criteria and process as we did last year, and that will be released and announced in January. So if you are wanting to apply again for a scholarship, or wanting to apply for the first time for a scholarship, please reach out we'll follow along in January, and that's when it will be announced. We won't be doing anything early before then, so it will be on social media, emails. We'll be sending them out in January, so stay tuned like a hawk and be ready to jump on that. And we will be issuing full and partial scholarships as we did last year, based on the person's needs. So we have a process for that, and yeah, we're looking forward to that, and I'm excited, like you said, for all the speakers that are coming in, and for the tracks, and what God is going to do this year. And then Joy, I would like for you to share maybe what would you like the women that are coming to this retreat to walk away with?
I would love for them to walk away with a confidence that God is going to redeem their stories, that they would even sense that He has begun that work. If they didn't already feel He had begun that work, He had, but that they would sense it, that they would have a confidence in that redemption, but mostly that they would have a confidence in Him and who He is, that He is my Redeemer. I've started doing this meditative method of Bible study in the morning, and I got up to one day before yesterday, and it was just that psalm that says, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly I will seek you." And when I stopped and said it slowly, I'm like, "Oh God, you are my God." Just knowing Him and understanding, goodness gracious, we have the King of the universe, the one who created the heavens and the earth, who wants to get personally involved in our lives. What an amazing, beautiful thing that is. And what a redeemer he is, that he has all throughout scripture. There are stories of brokenness, but God is always a redeemer. He always promises redemption for those who seek him and you'll come to him and just throw, I say cling to him, because and there actually are scriptures that talk about clinging to him. And so he is the one who brings that healing. And so I think that we can have confidence, because I think a lot of times when we come through really hard stuff and traumatic things, we can come out thinking that I'll never be the same again. I'm scarred for life. But I believe that God tells us otherwise. And now science is starting to basically reinforce that truth, that we can heal. It might be hard work, but we can definitely heal. And, having that confidence in him, I think, is a huge step towards that healing process.
Awesome. Yes. And then I saw Diana jumped in as well. As I mentioned, we still do have single rooms available in Lambeth. Lambeth, it's just the terrace is full. So if you're wanting a single room, please jump on that. So yes, please everybody mark your calendars and save the date for May 1st through 4th, 2025. We are so excited to be having it again in Lake Juneau, so go ahead and register, especially if you want to sing a room. And just to recap again, that scholarships will be announced and available in January. And like she said, again, we'll be having tracks for organizational abuse and for survivors. And so we're really excited and hoping that women will be able to walk away feeling rested, renewed, and restored and redeemed after this retreat. And so please come. We'd love to meet you, and we're excited to see what God will do in your life through this. We're already praying for you and excited to see you there soon, hopefully. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments about the retreat or anything else. We're happy to jump on and answer them. We've already started a 2025 Facebook retreat group, so you can begin connecting with other women who are coming to the retreat with you. You have to be registered to be part of that group. And so please go ahead. We're trying to foster community already so you can get to know other people and connect. And we're excited and really hope to see you there.
Sorry. I just wanted to say we do have an early bird price right now, so you might want to take advantage of that. And if you go ahead and sign up now, you can make payments. I think a number of 4 payments, so it would split up the cost. So go ahead, and we did forget to mention the dates: May 1st through the 4th, 2025. So first weekend of May.
Oh, yes. No, everything's good. Yeah, I dropped the dates in here, and they're all, yeah, the registration link and everything is there. So we're excited. Is there anything else you wanted to say as we close out? Okay.